Hey everybody, my name is Martha, and I just want to talk to y'all a little bit about meal planning. It's something that I feel like I have grown a lot in, but was at the very beginning something that really was very daunting for me and overwhelming to me. And it's made a huge difference in my own healthy journey and the health of my family. So I want to share some tips and some tricks and just hopefully make it a little bit less scary, a little bit less overwhelming for you. So, meal planning, staying on track. When it comes to staying on track in your healthy journey, planning is the most important part. You can really work out all day long. But if your nutrition isn't on track, then you just won't see those results that you want. You won't see that success that you want. So what happens in our life, and why is this something that is hard to do? We get busy, right? We get in a hurry, and we find ourselves in this is what happens. We find ourselves in the middle of the week, and we're in a hurry, and we're going through the drive-through because we don't have time, which is the biggest excuse that I hear across the board, is that I just don't have time to eat healthy or to take care of myself. And really, like, it makes me question why. And I go back to that why. It was the question that I asked myself: why is this such a hard thing for me? And really it came down to, like, I just don't have anything at home that is healthy for me and for my family. So that is why meal planning, I believe, is so important, because we so quickly go into that kind of survival mode whenever we get busy, especially during the midweek, as busy gals, busy moms, busy working ladies, just whatever the case may be. So while it does take time, and while that time is a real thing, while it does take time to sit down and plan out your meals, it pays off big time in the long run, and both physically and like the way that you feel, mentally, like the belief that you build, that you're able to like see something through, and start good habits, and actually see them through. But it also saves a ton of money and stress in the long run. So these are some of the tips that I have, some of the things that I do on a regular basis to kind of make that process a little easier, and save that time and money, and just feel better across the board. So make it a family thing, first and foremost. Number one, make it a family thing. Make it something that you sit down together with your family, and get ideas from them, your husband, your kids. Let them kind of weigh in on some suggestions and some ideas that they have, so that it's a like, your people are going to be happy about what you're putting on the table there together, and everybody feels like they have a say in that. Number two, I use a meal planning guide or a worksheet to schedule out my breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner. It sounds crazy whenever you are first coming into that, but really and truly, the planning, like I said, is the key. And you're not leaving yourself open to, when you have a worksheet or a piece of paper with that information on it, you're not leaving yourself open to just whatever may come and haphazardly. Life does happen, but at least you have a plan going into it. Um, so I pull my recipes from the workout programs that I do. All of my workout programs have a nutrition guide that goes along with it. So I get recipe ideas and those kind of resources from those sources. I also have in my team of coaches, we have put together meal plans, one of which is provided for you in the file section of this group. And I also go to other websites, other healthy websites that I've come to know and trust, and other online sources to get recipes like that. And I'm happy to share those with you as well. So just let me know if you would like some suggestions about that. The next step, I think we're at number 4, is that I make a list of each meal Like I said, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks for each day of the week. If that seems like it's kind of crazy to start to do a whole week, start with 4 days, start with 5 days. But it is important to see it through at some point, to see it through all the way through the week, so you can get a clear picture of what you're looking at. Because who are we kidding? Weekends usually are kind of crazy, and but like I said, at least you're going in with some sort of plan instead of just letting it go haphazardly. That list of my meals, I make my grocery list off of what I do not have. I go through and take inventory of my pantry and my freezer and my fridge, and I make my grocery list accordingly. Next step is that I either print out or make a note of where the recipes are coming from for those different meals, so that I know when it comes down to time to make the meal, I either have the recipe there in front of me in my kitchen. I get get all my papers together at the beginning of the week, and I'm ready to go, and that's easy to pull ingredients from my grocery list that way. Or I just make a note of, this recipe came from this website, or just so I'm not like frantically like, where'd that recipe come from, that kind of thing. So those are my steps for meal planning. Just a few more tips that I have. My dinners are usually, are almost always different throughout the week. That is one thing that I do change up. I have kind of a regular rotation, and I know what my family likes. So I do have, we do have our favorites that we kind of rotate through, and we haven't had that in a while, and you kind of pull from there. But my breakfasts, lunches, and snacks are almost always repeats. Now I do have several options, and I give myself options so that there's no boredom. I like to have, okay, here's a little bit of a salty option, a little bit of a sweeter option, just kind of what so that I have options, and I'm not going to get bored, and I'm not feeling restricted in my plan. But also, like, having those repeats and having those things that are going to kind of be consistent for those meals really does simplify things and makes grocery shopping a lot easier too, because I know that I'm just going to grab the same things over and over, if that makes any sense. For dinner, I make recipes that make a lot. I tend to get recipes that I can either double or sometimes triple, depending on what it is, and also that just makes a lot of servings, so that I can either have leftovers, and I do plan leftover days, or I can portion out and I can freeze for later on in another week, and then I can grab those out of the freezer. It, again, saves time and saves a lot of money, because I'm not constantly running back and forth and like restocking everything at every grocery run. So on the weekends, I also like to cook in bulk. Like, I like to keep, like, another tip is to if you're getting chicken on the grill, we'll just make some extra for the rest of the week to freeze, that kind of thing. Or another good idea is making pancakes and waffles for breakfast. Those are always going to be a better option than buying like store-bought, because of preservatives and that kind of thing. So it's nice to make those kind of things in bulk, along with like grilled chicken, that you can use over and over and over again in recipes, and just pull from it at a moment's notice from what you already have in stock, if that makes any sense. So and that way, like also on the weekends, that way, like, I get my chopping done a lot of the time. If I know that a recipe is going to take to chop onion or chop peppers or whatever the case may be, a lot of times I prep fruits and veggies, not just for my meals, but also for like lunches for my kids, and going ahead and portioning those out and putting them in baggies and that kind of thing. And that's something that takes a little bit of time altogether, but over time it's going to save a lot of time and a lot of stress. My prep is done, and I don't have to like wonder and stress about something coming up at the last minute and not having anything. Having snacks that are already portioned out, that if push comes to shove and I have to run out the door, I can just grab those snacks, and I don't have to, again, go through a drive-through for lunch or a snack. So I hope that those tips help. Those are things that I've learned over the years, and I put into practice myself, and just to keep me on track and keep me feeling successful in my own healthy journey. Please shoot any questions my way, and I hope that helped, and I hope you all have an awesome day.